Here, we're ready. Someone would like to start off with a question? Go ahead.
John, there's no volleyball this weekend. How did that come down, and when was that final decision made between Nebraska and Penn State?
About 2 hours ago, I got a text saying it was shut down. But this just doesn't happen out of the blue. It's been being talked about all week, on the weekend, and because Penn State has some positives, so we were been talking all weekend. The administrators have been talking, the trainers, and so on. So the doctors talked today and shut it down.
What's the reaction, John? Have you told? What was the reaction of the team?
The way we communicate on a day like today is through GroupMe. So I just told them code red, no matches. We're still training. See you at 2:30. So that's, I don't know. They'll be bummed, but I do know that they've been concerned because they're worried if Penn State is contagious and we play. I mean, this is what happened with Wisconsin, Michigan, and Michigan State. Yet one team is contagious and infects other teams. So they were a little bit concerned about, how much risk we have. And of course, we don't want to have an outbreak, 2 weeks out from the tournament, if we're in the tournament. So there was some little bit of, I think, concern with our players on, how risky those matches might be. And probably the same for Penn State. And I think the other big factor in all this is, what if Penn State comes to Nebraska? I mean, this was our worry. I mean, Lindsay was doing jumping jacks on the bus when we were cleared to come home from Michigan, because if somebody gets positive, they got to stay and somebody's got to get them home. So it's not an easy deal. You got to drive them home, and that's a long haul from Penn State to Lincoln.
John, what do you guys plan to do this weekend now? Is there any possibility of you guys trying to bring in a different opponent, or perhaps doing something where fans could still get inside the Devaney Center and watch your team?
As far as I know, there's nobody else to play. So right now we'll probably take the weekend off. It's Easter weekend. Our team's been going literally since January 1st. So they probably would be looking forward to a break. So we'll kind of tone it down this week, and then I think ramp up game week next week. And then if we get in the tournament, we would go, I think on the 11th to Omaha is the date. So I'm not positive on all that, but we got so that's what I'm thinking right now. But we're going to talk about it today and figure it out. But that's kind of what we're thinking, so no. And we can't, if we could play a Creighton or somebody like that, but that's not allowed.
John, will you recruit any of the 4 seniors to come back next season?
I have not. I mean, we've had preliminary discussions about what they want to do, but nobody is making any decisions till after our season's over, and may go on past that. So so we haven't really made any progress there, or in that regard. So yeah, and there's the
ability, wise.
Yes. Yep.
What will your pitch be to those 4 seniors about coming back? Your recruiting pitch?
Yeah, I'm not going to recruit them, and this is a decision on what they want to do. I think they're waiting to see how this season goes, and it hasn't been a great senior year season. It's been a pretty tough deal, and so I just think once it's over, the dust settles, to see where they're at and what they want to do, and how they're feeling about things, and I think they've been pretty mature about it. So I'm not really going to recruit or talk anybody into anything, because if I got to talk somebody into it, I'll be talking them into it in the fall. So again, so this is more about what is best for them, what they want to do, and then we'll have those meetings once our season's over.
Were you planning any senior day activities for the matches this weekend, being the traditional last home matches of the season?
We had a meeting 2 weeks ago to prep for senior night, and we decided we wouldn't do anything after the match traditionally because the parents aren't allowed down on the court. At the time, we were going to have no fans. So we are going to do something via social media and then something private with our team. And so that's what we plan to do. So Nick, who's our social media guy, who does a phenomenal job, and Nate are working together to come up with something on social media. And our account now is over 500,000. I think we get exposures to everything we put out there. So a lot more people will get to see something about the seniors as opposed to just 8,000 in Devaney and maybe on NET. So it'll be cool. We'll make the most of it. So at least, that way they have something.
You only got to play 2 of your 4 biggest series this season. How do you feel about missing out on those opportunities now that you're heading towards the postseason here? Didn't get a chance to play some of the best teams in the conference.
Well, I think it's you want to play those matches because you learn a lot. And right now our greatest teaching match was Ohio State night 2. So you miss those experiences. I look at Wisconsin. I mean, they've missed all, I think, 4 series. I think they played Minnesota once, but Minnesota was missing players. I mean, then they were completely a different team. So it's going to be interesting to see how this tournament goes and how the NCAA tournament goes and what teams can overcome not being really tested. I like the fact that our team is returning all of our players. We have been tested before, although it was a long time ago. And again, we had some good matches this year that forced us to play at a high level, but it's a tough deal. I'm glad we're in the Big Ten because even though we didn't play Penn State or Wisconsin, we still played some really good teams. And, they make you compete and play, and even teams that are in the bottom of our conference are good.
John, you've had canceled matches previously this season, but this one I would assume feels a little different just because of the fact that fans are going to be allowed inside the Devaney Center. Can you speak to, I guess, just the emotion or the reaction that you have knowing that it was going to be different this weekend, but it's not going to happen?
So, first of all, once we got wind that Penn State canceled Wisconsin last week, I had a bad feeling that we weren't going to play this week. But part of me was, I'm being honest with you here, this isn't the answer you were expecting, but I almost, I'm not that, if we're going to play in Devaney, I want 8,000 people in there, not 2,000 people. And I was worried 2,000, our players still may feel that, okay, here we go. What is this? Just like a spring match, a scrimmage, parents are here. So, and then the other thing that the nightmare for us has been who gets in and who doesn't. And it's a no-win for our ticket people, our staff, how they decide that. It's a no-win. So in some ways, Kevin, I'm relieved that we don't have to go through that. And I'm just counting the days till we can play in front of 8,000 again, because that's what that Devaney's meant for, and that's what it feels like. And I had no idea how much I would miss that. I can't imagine how much the players miss it.
You use the expression, if you make it, is there any sort of anticipation leading into Sunday's selection show, or nothing? You take nothing for granted this year?
Nothing for granted. I mean, it's such a small group they're taking, and there's been no talk of how they're going to do that. So who knows?
Should you make the tournament, it'll be almost 2.5, 3 weeks Are you coming up with game plans to figure out how you fill that time and keep the players fresh before that first potential match on April 16th?
I'm going to work on the next 2 days. So, I just found out a couple hours ago, and so I want to meet with our strength coach and our trainer and our Dr. Haskell, and just kind of put together a plan on how we're going to manage this, because haven't been through this one before. This is new for me, and so we got to figure out how we're going to approach this mentally, physically, and try to keep this team sharp. So it's going to be a heck of a coaching job to try to manage all this, keep everybody still going in the same direction and motivated. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but in this generation, everything is 9 seconds, quick. They're just looking at what's in the next minute. They're not thinking about 2 weeks from now. So I've got to do a masterful job of painting a picture and a mindset of how we can be great in 2 weeks.
Any more questions?